I'm a big fan of advocating for a culture of observability. If you build a tool, but don't think about how you're going to implement it, who's going to use it, how they're going to use it, and then the whole getting people to drink the water kind of a thing, then you're probably not going to have a lot of success. You've got to really think about how you build this culture of observability. So it's not that something that somebody thinks about later, right? With a culture of observability, when the alarms go off, when people start to think that something might be going wrong, observability becomes the first thing they look at. And it's not just the software engineer who owns the service. It might be the network team. It might be the product owner. It might be any number of people looking at it from their different perspective to understand their impact. But to get there, you've got to build this culture. The metrics and traces and logs are something that people tend to look at as the how, and culture is more of the what, right? I mean, but it all has to work together.
Yeah. Paige, do you think?
I would almost say culture is the foundation of that house. And what really came to mind is when we think about distributed traces. That was the first type of telemetry I was really introduced to in my career. I was very lucky. And I had said very early on, okay, by whatever, 5 years in the industry, tracing is going to be everywhere. It's going to be great. Like everyone's going to see the value here. And we are like 8 years into my tech career, 10 years now. And tracing is still, it is quite valuable for the orgs that have it and have a culture of observability where they've enabled folks and showed them why traces are valuable and kind of make it a part of the fabric of their investigations. But there are many orgs that have traces that do not have that same culture, that don't get the value. They're paying for all these traces. No one's accessing them. Doesn't mean that the traces are bad. It just means there's a little bit of a culture or enablement problem. So I would say, sure, let's use the pillar. That's a very evocative metaphor, but I would put that culture as the foundation.
And
Like,
part of that culture, also always with Paige, I'm a +1, so I'll +1 her again.
We're our biggest fan club.
We are the giant. We make up the founding members of Tracing Fan Club.
Yeah.
We both love traces. I've seen it work firsthand in my career. And I think where culture comes in is getting people to understand the power of a trace and what it means. And also that when you're migrating and when you're moving to observability or improving the maturity of your observability, end to end is the ideal state. But you've got to start somewhere. And so teams that stop because they say, oh, well, we don't have end to end. Well, what do you have? That's more than you had before. It's like me trying to motivate myself to run or go to the gym, right? If I walked a mile, that's probably more than I did sitting on the couch yesterday, right? It's the same thing with traces. Get a little bit in and then build upon it, because that also excites people when you start to find those problems that were eluding you up to that point.